Hey, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And once again, I'm back to review a local album, an album from Hong Kong. And this time, it's going to be a singer, not really singer-songwriter. I mean, it's singer-songwriter, but the guy actually didn't write his songs, but a singer, just one dude. And his name is Pakho Chau, or Zhou Pakho. And this album is 8. Released in the year, I think, 2014. And yeah, I don't know why did I decide to review this, because I actually don't have much to say about this album. He is one of the bigger musical stars in Hong Kong, not one of the biggest, but still pretty big. And you know the kind of song he makes. I mean, almost every big musical artist in Hong Kong make the same kind of music, sing about the same kind of topic, with the same kind of instrumentals. First, start off your track silently, and then introduce these very melodramatic and weepy ass pianos and strings, and then slowly introduce the drums, and then sing about how much you love your girlfriend or your wife, and then the song ends. This is basically the formula for every single most generic, bland, cliche Cantopop songs there is. And this really, really pisses me off. In fact, one of the biggest reasons why I didn't enjoy and don't enjoy a lot of Hong Kong music is because musical artists always follow this goddamn stupid formula. Oh, I'm gonna make some very melodramatic love song again for the 1200th time so that my fans will be like, oh my god, so touching, I'm in tears, I'm crying. There are some songs that follow this formula, but are a little more outstanding and a little better than others because A, it has a dreamy, beautiful chord progression, and B, the lyrics, they vary a little bit. Instead of talking about the love for your wife or girlfriend, maybe sing about your children or your parents. For instance, we have the Eason Chan song Bicycle, which is one of the biggest singles in the entire history of Hong Kong, and I personally like it as well. It's a very touching and endearing song about the singer reminiscing his days, spending time with his father. But anyways, I digress. Back to this album. God damn, this album, man. This fucking album. It's boring. It's boring. Pakho Chau, right here, he abuses the same formula over and over again. The first 3 tracks sound pretty much exactly the same. The album opener is Söng Döü, which is a bit of a pun, because Söng Döü means like, oh, we're a match, we're a pair. But Söng is more like double, and Döü is like match. So it's like, yeah, we're double, we're 2 people, and we pair. I don't know why the English translation is high heels. The fuck does it have to do with shoes? I don't know. But essentially, it is a very bland love song with boring wallpaper pianos, and you know the drill. The second track is called Ngå Dik Sün Yin, or My Vow, and this is the biggest single in this album, also one of the biggest singles that Pakho Chau had released, and damn, this song is really, really bland. I mean, I really tried my very best to enjoy this song. I thought the melodies and the verses, I guess, sounded a little touching, like it could come off of like a very like Hong Kong kind of love romance movie. But that actually just reinforces the fact that it's boring and generic as hell. The melodies are super cliche, and the song is also another love song, but so yeah. The third track is called Letting Go of Yourself, or Fång Gwå Dzi Gei, and it sounds exactly like the first 2 tracks, except I guess a little spacier. And an album full of boring Cantopop songs is terrible, yes, but Pakho Chau kind of makes it worse on the 4th track, Søt Gok, which means wrestling, where he attempts a fast-paced, upbeat song, which sounds exciting. Oh my god, in the sea of trashy, bland Cantopop, finally one interesting upbeat song. And it's awful. It's awful. He tries to do this really sporty and athletic sort of electro-pop song with blaring synths that are kind of pulsating, and then these very stiff sequenced beats, and these very terribly produced, just compressed, annoying screeching electronics for the entire duration of this track. It sounds like a nightmare. It sounds nightmarish. And we got the vocals, the yeah. And then we have the track Söng Döü, the Khong Wei, which basically means an empty spot in a double bed, like a double-sized bed for two people. And it's another really bland song, I guess, except the instrumentals of this track is really stripped back. It's just a guitar and the guy. And even though it's still bland, I guess the bareness of the instrumentals helped this track sort of stand out a little more, because it doesn't sound as generic. It sounds really pure and sincere, I guess, at least sonically. And then we have another problematic track, and the track title is 00:08:00, which means like 8 minutes, except this track is 8 minutes 12 seconds long, so they're lying. But holy shit. I'm actually surprised. I'm actually impressed, because a lot of songs that came out of Hong Kong are like 2 to 3 minutes long, and then that's it. But, well, you know, he's going to experiment a little bit and make an 8 minute, 12-second long song, and it's terrible. Again, okay, it's not as terrible as the wrestling song, but it's still kind of bad. First of all, Pakho Chau indulges himself and embarks upon the metal genre, except the only thing remotely metal about this track are the distorted guitars that are rather faint and quiet in comparison with the usual metal that you would listen to. And then we have the weak-ass vocals that do not match with the energy of the guitars at all. The melodies are still really mild and tame, and at the 3-minute mark, it jarringly transitions into a very soft and sweet kind of piano track that's just really dramatic. Sounds like it came out of a theater play or something. And I actually kind of like this bit, but again, towards the end of the track, it jarringly jumps back to the metal thing with the very weak vocals and the very repetitive and annoying melodies, and it's just very bad. And then there's this problem with the drums, and I don't know why it's only a problem in the last 2 tracks, but the drums are really irregular, and it actually sounds kind of interesting. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but why are the drums so messy? It's almost good. And then we have the last track, which is called 你還怕大雨嗎, or in Mandarin, 你還怕大雨嗎? And it basically means, are you still afraid of rain? Are you still afraid of a big rain? And he sung it in Mandarin, and that's not a problem. But what the problem is, it's yet another generic, basic, melodramatic, piano string-backed love song. Again. So, yeah, the drums are a mess again. I don't know if it's intentional or not. I don't think it is, but that's the only interesting part of this track. So, yeah, I guess another thing about the last track that I like is the instrumental climax towards the end. With the messy drums, I guess that sounds a little interesting. But overall, this album, kind of terrible. Not the worst album I've ever heard, but yeah, it's either a really boring, bland, generic, formulaic, basic, melodramatic Hong Kong Cantopop love song thing, or it's actually an interesting idea, but he totally butchers it with weak songwriting, weak vocals, and weak, very, very terrible production. So yeah, my favorite track here is the stripped back guitar ballad, An Empty Spot on a Double Bed, and my least favorite is probably the wrestling song. This is terrible. That or the 4 other boring, bland Cantopop songs. So, have you listened to Pakho Chau's 8 from 1 to 10? How much did you rate? I forgot to give this a score. I am giving 周柏豪 a light 4 out of 10. So, have you listened to this album from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Like it and subscribe if you want more. Thanks for watching. Yeah.